Hello, everyone. It's time for Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 406, season 17. Today's date is February 8th, 2025, and welcome to the show. On today's program, I'm going to talk about something a little, bizarre and very memorable. It's those McDonaldland commercials from the 1970s where, of course, they're from McDonald's. Feature Ronald McDonald and all the famous characters there. And I'll talk about my memories of watching those on TV as a kid. And second, I will talk about my memories of the Roseland Plaza Shopping Center that was located on East 115th Street and South Michigan Avenue in the Roseland neighborhood. I've talked about this before, I believe, so I'm going to do it again and add some more information. And like I said, I'll talk about my memories of going there with my mom and all the stores that were located there. Okay. But first, the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Lifesavers Candy and Lollipops. And here's a commercial from 1977. And you probably recognize the jingle. And so it's kind of jazzy and fun and upbeat, that is, excuse me. So sit back and relax, and I'll be right back with the show, folks. Thank you.
Washington, D.C. Lifesavers, fun to eat. Super flavors can't be beat. Hey, Lifesavers. Super taste and super rolls. 22 flavors, 22 holes. Hey, Lifesavers. Suck them slow or suck them fast. The fun in your tongue are made to last. Hey, Lifesavers. Now giant Lifesavers on a stick. Lifesaver lollipops fun to lick. Hey, Lifesavers. Hey, Lifesavers.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Lifesavers Candy and Lollipops. Lifesavers are still around. My favorite is the 5 flavor, but they changed it. They used to have cherry, pineapple, lemon, lime, and orange. Now they got like tropical fruit and watermelon. I'm not a watermelon fan, so they changed it a lot. I like wild cherry. That's the best. It's hard to find. Also, they made lollipops at the time. They were introduced. They're like, it's like a big Lifesaver on a stick. And I remember getting those at my old neighborhood. I went to Crestline Pharmacy or Edwards Drug Store and picking up a lollipop and just eat it at home. That was fun. They come out with other lollipops, swirl flavors and all that. They're still around, but these were classics. So it was just plain Lifesaver candies, a huge one over on a stick, like a lollipop. Okay. At the beginning of the program, I mentioned I'm going to talk about my memories of the McDonaldland commercials from McDonald's from the 1970s. Also, I will talk about my memories of Roseland Plaza. It was a shopping center in the Roseland neighborhood. Before I get started, I'll give you a health update. This week, I went to my 3rd chemotherapy. Everything went off fine. Yeah, it went okay. I went by myself. I did okay. Also got my Zometa fusion, the calcium. I didn't have to go Friday, so they did it all in one day, so that's good. And then I went there and I got a blood test and I spoke to my doctor. He says, you're improving somewhat. PSA still high. It's like 67, but it went down to 64. So it's gone down slowly. So it'll take time. He says it's going to take time. But it's headed to the right direction. And that's good news for me. And next one is February 25th. This will be the 4th one. And I have 6 more to go after that. Seems like a lot. Well, that's what the doctor said. So I think if I do about 10, I think this will do the trick. I'm hoping that. Also, so I'm doing okay. Doing fine. I'm just a little tired. I took a nap yesterday, fell asleep. That was embarrassing. So that wiped me out. So I did sleep okay. Second thing I want to mention, I want to remind you that on February 20th, I'll be receiving the Citizen Historian Award at the Chicago Historical Museum. And it's about, 12 days left. And it's on a Thursday, February 20th, 1 o'clock at the museum. It's at North and Clark Street. It's open to the public. If you'd like to join me or say hello, please do. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm very honored and very blessed to receive this award. It's because Van Chicagoland it's beautiful. It's a beautiful account, and I enjoy it every day, posting stuff and making people happy. That's what I'm here for. Okay. So right now we're going to talk about McDonaldland. I remember these commercials when I was a kid, and it was the most strangest, mind-boggling things I ever saw on television. And it's like, wow, who are these people and those guys in costumes, walking around in some fantasy place, and there's a McDonald's. So, and of course, it was Ronald McDonald was in the commercials. He was there. Practically everyone that is, excuse me, they always have a child with them, or, a couple of kids, and they would go, the commercial was set up so they would walk around and there would be a plot, like that would involve Mayor McCheese, the Hamburglar, Grimace, and Captain Crook. And it was the forest consisted of apple pie trees, like hamburgers with big bulging eyes and goblins, and there was the French fry patch. I'll tell you what they had, what consisted in that. So so it was a hamburger patch, with googly eyes, and so Big Mac and McCheese. So it was a Big Mac, a guy dressed up. He was like a police officer. And Mayor McCheese was the mayor, like that. And they have the song that they always play during the commercials. It goes like this: Get yourself ready for a trip to McDonaldland. Take along a friend and grab a hold of Ronald's hand. Follow Ronald McDonald through the land of apple pie trees, and don't be surprised if you meet Big Mac and McCheese. Then they had there's the thick shaking volcanoes, and you even find a French fry thatch, and just turn around to see you find a hamburger patch. And as you're heading for McDonald's. So that consisted about like 30 seconds of that, and it trips me out. It's hilarious like that. So they started making these commercials around the late 60s, like 69 or something like that. There's a Facebook page that shows pictures of the filming of that. I forgot the name of it. You have to do a search. It's like filming in McDonaldland, and he showed some pictures, with the actors and, they're portraying the characters, all that. And so they would advertise like cheeseburgers, triple thick milkshakes, French fries, or hot apple pies, like that. Oh, I love the apple pies there. And it looked like a set of they also had Filet-O-Fish Lake, so I forgot about that. So they had a French fry patch, hamburger patch, a shake volcano, and a one-shot Sunday mountain. So my favorite is the Grimace because he was always eating and he was a purple guy, kind of overweight, and he would drink a lot of shakes, and he talked kind of like Barney the dinosaur in a way, like that. So, you know what it is? It's like, how would I put this? The set of the McDonaldland commercials reminds me of H.R. Puffin stuff. If you remember the TV show with Jimmy and Freddie the Flute and Witchy Poo, that's what it reminds me of. And according to Wikipedia, Sid and Marty Krofft, the guys who created H.R. Puffin stuff, sued McDonald's because it's like copyright away, or it's like plagiarism, sort of, which was not. So they went to court and all that, and then they stopped making commercials. McDonaldland, I think it was done, like about 1973 or something like that. They stopped doing that, or 74. And so they stopped. So you know what they did after that? They did not feature the commercials. No, they did not feature the characters anymore. Now they went to traditional commercials. With McDonald's. Like with families. With kids hanging out. Going to a ball game, or girls. Getting together and just going to have a snack, have something to eat. That's what it was. And, but my memories of watching these commercials of McDonaldland, it goes back to when we first got Channel 32 in the early 1970s, and they used to air those during the afternoon or like early in the morning. They used to show Speed Racer, or Tennessee Tuxedo, or Magilla Gorilla, or Peter Potamus. But on Channel 9, they used to show these, I think, around Bozo's Circus. I think so. Not in the morning, not Ray Rayner or Garfield Goose. No. I think just Bozo's Circus, and then in the afternoon lineup, with the reruns, like the Flintstones, like that, or Gilligan's Island. So I remember watching these commercials, and they tripped me out. Because Ronald looked so happy all the time. I think he was on something, or I don't know. So you can find those commercials on YouTube. They have compilations. It's fun to go back and watch these, because it's harmless to me. It's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing at all like that. So, every time I see a commercial, I have a dying urge for McDonald's to get a hamburger or a fry and an icy cold Coca-Cola. Maybe a milkshake. I do go to McDonald's once in a while, not all the time, but I do have a craving, and I will get something to eat. Shamrock Shake, which is one of my favorites. I hope I get just one a year. That's a tradition of mine, like that. And they bring it back, and they're bringing back Uncle Grimace. If you remember him, he was from Ireland. He's Grimace's uncle. Oh boy! So you could try to make out what's going on with these commercials. It's like they're skipping around, and then there's the trees with the big bulging eyes and like that. Oh, it's funny. It's really funny. Okay. But, they brought back Ronald McDonald. They brought him back, and he's not, but they didn't show him in McDonaldland. He just in other situations, other settings like that. So that's good. So he's still a popular character. He's still around. I remember the Ronald McDonald dolls. Remember that? I always wanted one of those. So they don't advertise much on television with McDonald's, just Loving It or stuff like that. They don't feature the characters. I haven't seen them. I have not seen them. But you go to McDonald's and you see them, like on a box of McDonaldland cookies. Okay, so right now I'm going to play a commercial. It's one of the earliest McDonaldland commercials from the 1970, I believe. Let me double check for you. Yes, it is. It is from 1970. And it has the words, it has the lyrics, the words. And Ronald doesn't speak in this commercial, but he's just dancing around, walking with the kids. So here's a commercial from McDonald's for McDonaldland from 1970. And when I come back, I will talk about my memories of the Roseland Plaza Shopping Center in the Roseland neighborhood of Chicago. All right, so sit back and relax, and let's go to McDonaldland. Thank you, everyone.
Get yourself ready for a trip through McDonaldland. Take along a friend and grab a hold of Ronald's hand. Follow Ronald McDonald through the land of apple pie trees. And don't be surprised if you meet Big Mac and Big Cheese. There's thick shake volcanoes, you'll even find a French fry thatch. Now just turn around and see if you won't find a hamburger patch as you're heading for a McDonald's in McDonaldland, a McDonald's in McDonaldland, a McDonald's.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. Excuse me. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for McDonaldland featuring Ronald McDonald. It's so funny. So, like I said before, if you want to watch these commercials, be my guest. They're on YouTube. There's a lot of them. I watched a few of them the other day, and it's nice to go back. It just goes back to my childhood. And still bizarre. I know I've said this many times, but it seemed like a very quiet, safe place, to get away from all your cares in the world. That's what it was. Oh, well. Anyway, so right now I'm going to talk about the Roseland Plaza Shopping Center that was located in the Roseland neighborhood of Chicago. That was located on East 115th Street and South Michigan Avenue. I used to live in that neighborhood for 5 years, from 1969 to 1974. And Michigan Avenue at the time was a big shopping mecca. They had a lot of stores. Anything you need, it was right there. So starting from 111th, right near where I used to live, there was a lot of shoe stores, dress shops. There was, of course, Gately's People's Store, the most famous department store on the south side. That was there for over 100 years. Now it's burned down, unfortunately. And I had great memories of going to that store. I've talked about it a long time ago on a previous podcast episode, but I like to talk about it again someday. So because it was very unique and it was a great store. They had everything. They had everything they want. Also, other stores that let's see, I'm trying to remember. They had J.C. Penney's. They had Woolworths. There was Mailing Shoes, Kresge's. So they had a couple of restaurants there. But as you go further down to 115th Street on the corner, there was a shopping plaza. Not big, but yeah, decent size. That's been there since probably early 60s, I think, maybe. And I remember the white sign with the red lettering, which was kind of cool. I have pictures of that. And the first store that I remember seeing was De Coven Drugs, and that was a drugstore. My mom shopped there all the time, and they had several locations on the south side, in the south suburbs, like Calumet City, and I can't think where else. Alsip, I guess, or Blue Island. And I remember the drugstore. It was a big drugstore. It had everything you need. My mom needed her whatever she wanted. I don't remember all the stores in the plaza, but I do remember they had a restaurant called the Coffee Pot, and I know the owner of that place. It was there for many years. It was just a regular, like a restaurant, very big. I remember we ate there a few times, and very popular place. People who drove or just walked, they walked in, have a cup of coffee, have a piece of pie, or have some lunch or dinner, and it was there. And I think I remember a True Value hardware store. It was there as well. And also down up, how would I say this? Up west, up north, that is, from the plaza was a National Foods store. And it was kind of green and white building, it looked like McDonald's, with the arch like that. And my mom shopped there, not all the time, only if she was in the area. They had National Foods. I remember they had their milk and their cottage cheese and their soft drinks and all that. My mom liked the store. She really did. But she usually shopped at A&P, and that was at East 112th Street in Michigan, right near our apartment building. And we used to go there for, I remember the smell of the 8 o'clock coffee on the aisle, and they had the sawdust on the floor like that. That's great memories. We didn't take the bus to over there. We just walked. It was only about 4 blocks, not 4 long blocks, but it was. So she took us by the hand, me and my brothers, when we weren't in school. I don't know if she went by herself. Probably not. Not to the plaza. Probably nearby, like at A&P, about a block away. But we didn't go there often, at the plaza. And there's a funny story about the Coffee Pot restaurant. There was we weren't there, but there was a waitress that we knew. We knew the lady, and she was serving. And all of a sudden, this car jumped up and crashed through the window. And luckily, she was not hurt. It almost missed her by inches. And she was okay. She just got scared. And I think probably, I don't know the whole story, but I think the man who drove, probably an older man, probably stepped on the accelerator instead of the brake. Just went crashing like that. Oh, that was terrible. Like that. And I've eaten at the Coffee Pot many times. I don't remember what, but it was a good restaurant. It really was. And of course there was DeCoven's, the drugstore. It was Rexall. And that's what it was. And I remember we were walking down the aisle. I used to see the coloring books and all the school supplies. We bought our school supplies there. Sometimes we did. Also probably at Kresge's, because that was nearby. But if there was something we needed, and if we were at the store, we'd buy them like that. Or she'd buy us candy like that. That is something. That's a beautiful memory I've had. As for Roseland Plaza, they tore it down. They closed all the stores, probably around the late 70s, and now it's just an empty lot. There's nothing there, and people in the neighborhood are trying to redevelop it, and they had not much success. So, there's a lot of land over there on a corner, so they could build something very nice. I don't know what, but they should, because I wish they kept the sign, the Roseland Plaza sign, because it was kind of cool. I guess they did not. So, right across the street from there was the Rose Bowl. There was a bowling alley. We used to walk by it to head to St. Anthony. There was a church, and it was on Kensington. And we used to have a carnival there. My mom took us there one time. a couple times like that. It's a beautiful church. It's still there. And I remember passing by the bowling alley. Excuse me, the Rose Bowl. I remember hearing the pins knocked down. You smell the cigarette smoke, and people screaming, they got a strike and all that. And the sound of the pins dropping, when the bowling ball hits, it's a beautiful sound. It really is. Of course, that's, I think the building's still there. I don't know. Probably not. But a lot of people bowled around that area. I don't know if there was another bowling alley in that neighborhood. I'm not sure. Anyway, so that's my memories of the Roseland Plaza that was located in the Roseland neighborhood of Chicago. That's fun. It was nice. Nice going down memory lane. Okay, that is it for our show. I'll do a recap of what I talked about. I talked about the McDonaldland commercials from McDonald's from the 1970s featuring Ronald McDonald and his characters. And I talked about my memories of watching them on television. Also, I talked about my memories of the Roseland Plaza Shopping Center that was located in the Roseland neighborhood of Chicago. This podcast will be published later on today, wherever podcasts are available: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Breaker, Overcast. Could be on iHeartRadio. It could be there. We'll see. Also be published on my blog, www.vanchicagoland.blog. You can click on the link. It'll take you right there. As for the apps I mentioned, if you click on an app and tap follow, you'll get the latest notifications. Also, you can listen to previous episodes if you like. Same thing with the blog. Also, be sure on my YouTube channel. And again, people always ask me, where do I find your podcast? Where do I find your podcast? You can find it on YouTube. Type in Van Chicagoland Stories or my name, and you will find it. Click subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. And you can listen, and you'll receive a notification for the latest episode. You can listen to previous episodes if you like. Also, be sure on my social media accounts, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Reddit. Let's see what else. Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, and TikTok. Luckily, I have TikTok on my iPad, not on my phone, so it'll be there. You can click on the links, or copy them. It'll take you right there, and you can listen to the latest episode. How about that? So that's it for today. I will probably do another podcast tomorrow. Maybe. We'll see. Tomorrow's Super Bowl. I think a lot of people have that on their mind, so they don't want to listen to me. That's okay. But it's there. All right. So this is Pete Costanis, your host for Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. Thank you for joining me. Today is kind of a cool day, kind of cold. Might snow a little bit, but it's the weekend, so everyone enjoy yourselves. So here's Bye-Bye for me, and here's a little traveling music with the wonderful Ray Rayners saying bye, bye, bye. Take care, everyone, and so long.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.